right, so let's get started in seated position, coming to our breath, seated on our mat. I'm going to sit on my pillow here. And today's practice is going to be a nice, slow yin practice. So we'll come to our breath first in our nice, easy seat. Let's kind of roll the head and neck around if that feels comfortable. Maybe kind of wiggle the spine a little bit back and forth. And then settle down for some nice, slow, easy breath. And so we'll begin with some square breathing, which is a beautiful breathing technique that keeps us centered and grounded in our breath in the moment. It also helps to bring awareness to the body and the breath. And the awareness is that we are visualizing the breath around a square. And in the corners of the squares, we're actually holding the breath either in on the in-breath or out and holding it on the out-breath at the corners. So it slows down the breath so that we can signal to the nervous system to come to that rest and digest instead of the fight or flight. So any sort of stress we're having, any stress response that maybe we had today, we're just going to breathe it away, kind of like that, breathe it away. So imagine in your mind's eye square. This square can be any size, any color that you'd like, but visualize it clearly in your mind's eye. Visualize all four sides of the square being equal. And notice the edges, the corner, the right angle at each end. As you breathe around the square, you're going to breathe at your pace and try to slow it down as much as you can. Remembering that the inhales and the exhales equal one another, and we hold just a little bit at the corners. Once you go around the square one full time, which is an inhale, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, of course much slower than that, then just come back to your natural, normal rhythm of breath before you then begin again around the square another time. And so I am going to only walk you around one time the square because each one of us has a different speed of respiration. And so if I'm going too fast or too slow, that could really not make you comfortable. So we want to be as comfortable as we possibly can be as we are in this breath work. And so I'll begin and end with the sound of the chime. The first one, like I said, I will speak around the square, and then the next four, until you hear the chime, however long that takes until the chime goes, then you'll be doing it on your own. So here we go to begin. Imagining your square in your mind's eye. And inhale up the first side of the square. Hold gently the inhale. Exhale, let it go. The other side of the square equal to the first inhale. Hold at the corner. Inhale again. Hold at the corner. Final exhale around the first square. Let it go. And then back to nice, easy breath. Now, because we're going to be sitting in meditation and breathing for a little bit, you might want to find yourself propped against a wall or somewhere where your back can be fully supported so that you don't have any sort of back pain or hip pain or any other kinds of things that your body might do. So now I invite you yogis to imagine your square again and begin breathing around your square slowly, steady, without my prompt. Eye gaze down or eyes closed. encouraging you to slow the breath down so it's comfortable for you. Slowing that breath. And at the sound of the tone, we release that breathing technique. If your eyes are closed, blink them open, come back to right now. Fully arriving in this moment we're at right now, prepared for this beautiful Yin Flow practice. Let's first inhale, reach the arms up to the sky, and go ahead and take this over towards the right, looking up to the left. Breathe into that space, perhaps floating that right arm down and finding even more length in the side body. Look past the ceiling to the sky or up at the sky if you're outside. Noticing the clouds as they move, or imagining them in your mind's eye, knowing that your thoughts are just like the clouds in the sky. Come back to center and reach. Catch the other wrist and bring it over to the left, looking up. Knowing, of course, that the thoughts, float the hand down, will come, but let them go. Not holding on to the thoughts as you watch the clouds gently and slowly move through the blue sky, the thoughts through your mind, exactly the same way. And back to center. Again, reach both hands up. Hands release behind your head and fall back into your hands and open your heart. Beautiful. Take a nice easy twist, turn to the right, left hand on the knee. Sit up super tall, long spine, and exhale, look back behind you. Reach the hands up again, big, 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 big stretch. And then turn towards the left, right hand on left knee, sit up tall and breathe. Look over your back shoulder as you sit up even taller. Beautiful. Coming back to center again, let's take our legs out from a cross position if they were, and let's just kind of give them some movement here. And then seated forward fold, slide off your pillow if you're on one. Move some of the flesh out from the sides and kind of feel the sitting bones deep in the earth, grounding down. Take your hands to heart center and sit up really tall. Lift your chin up. Take a nice big inhale, and as you slowly exhale, start to fold forward. Nice and easy, chin up, flat back, curl your toes in, and start to feel the back of the legs gently open. Slide your hands onto your thighs, shins, ankles. Maybe even you can reach up over your feet. Chin is still up and you're looking forward. Feeling the back body open, breathe. Beautiful. Take a few more big breaths here. Slow, deep inhales and exhales. Perhaps continuing to hold that internal hold in between the inhales and exhales, or maybe you want to let that go. Let's come in a little bit further down into this forward fold. Now, if it's too much, you can back out. The other option is to take both of your hands, interlace them underneath, grasp toward the elbows, and let the legs under the knees rest right on the arms. It's a little bit more gentle, or you could even take a pillow there. Go ahead and let everything hang forward now in a forward fold. Seated forward fold is the deepest fold we can be in, and just allow your body to melt in. Another option for a forward fold is to actually take a pillow or two onto your lap and then just hang right over it. So this is something I'd like you to try if you can find a pillow nearby, to just kind of relax into the space. Letting the body melt open. In a Yin practice, we hold the postures about 3 to 5 minutes. We're going to err on the side of 3 minutes or less. And as we breathe and surrender the body, notice the thoughts and surrender to them as well. Not allowing any thoughts of the future or the past creep in at this moment. Knowing that worry creates anxiety, which raises all kinds of hormone levels in your body and is unhealthy for you. So we want to stay right in the moment without worrying about the future. Allow the body to continue to melt open. Be free to do that. Feel yourself fall deeper and deeper into the posture. I'll signal the tone again, signaling coming back to seated with our breath coming out of this posture. Let's sit up nice and tall first. Inhale, reach for the sky. And then exhale, slowly lower down. Use the hands if you need to, or if not, use the core strength to lower, 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 lower. Raise up the arms up overhead. Big good morning stretch, stretch, stretch. And then let's take your right foot into your inner thigh, reclining tree pose. So it looks like tree standing, except we're laying down. Reclining tree, I'm going to turn to the side here. Hands can be either on your belly or grounding, hands touching the earth, or receiving, palms open. Or maybe you're feeling like you need a little heart help here, so just maybe one hand on your heart. Another option is to take both of your hands, interlace them behind your head, and lay your head in your hands, once again letting the heart splay open. So we're in this tree pose reclined on the right side, breathing beautiful deep breaths. Knowing that we do carry a lot of emotion in our hips, and allowing this to be a release of anything that's not serving you. And so noticing your eyelids, if they're crunched closed, release them, let them be soft, draped over the eyes. And notice if the jaw is clenched, and unclench the teeth. Perhaps take your tongue and lick your lips or rub the roof of your mouth and allow it to settle back down. Notice if you're holding tension anywhere else in your body, and with the breath, allow it to go. If at any point the posture starts to be uncomfortable and you'd like to move or get out of it, please honor whatever your body is telling you that it needs. Try not to fidget or move in the postures, and keep coming back to the breath and back to the body, scanning for any tension and letting it go. Continue to breathe into the space in the tree pose. hear the chime, stretch out big, tall, long body, arms overhead, and take a big good morning stretch. And we switch sides, drawing the left foot up into the right inner thigh for tree. Perhaps change the arm position here, or maybe not, depending on what feels right. As we come back into this beautiful posture of restoration. Left side tree pose. Reclining. Noticing the difference between the right and the left side. Noticing which hip feels more tension or feels more free. Just notice it, hold it in awareness, and let it go without judgment. Knowing that we strive for balance, but perfect balance is truly very difficult, if not completely unattainable. We just strive to get there. Noticing the breath, continuing to allow it to move through the body. Perhaps let the breath deepen more fully. Noticing the inhale and the exhale. Once again, scanning the body for any tension, especially any tension you might be holding in your face, in your eyelids, in your jaw, your shoulders. Taking a notice of how slow the breath may be becoming now as we're completely dropping into this practice. And when you're ready, reach your hands up to the sky again and up beyond your head. The sound of the tone signals another posture change. Hug your knees into your chest and roll around just a little bit on your spine, massaging the spine into the ground, maybe making little circles. Option to take happy baby, or maybe you're just going to use the arms and the hands to open and close the hips a little bit. And now we'll take both legs down and the arms up overhead for a big stretch, and draw the right knee into your chest. We'll stay here for a few breaths before we turn this into a spinal twist. So this pose here is actually called wind releasing pose, and it releases pressure out of our belly. So draw that leg up towards the right armpit and breathe through that space. Maybe gently shake your head no a little bit here. And let's turn wind releasing posture into spinal twist. So take this right knee and right leg across the left side of the body and open the arms out to the side and look to the right as the leg goes to the left. If we want to intensify this, we can straighten out that top leg. And if you want even a little more, you can reach the hand for the back foot, turning this into a reclined revolving triangle pose. We're looking to the right and we're in a twist here. So if it's too much or doesn't feel good, you can take the pillow here underneath that right leg, and we're going to stay in the posture with the breath. Continuing to breathe in that spinal twist, feeling the spine just gently moving into its natural position. And at the sound of the tone, hug the knees back into the chest, create some circles on the sky, perhaps a happy baby. Beautiful. Stay with that movement for a little longer and see what feels good here as you recline and work the low back into the earth. Go ahead and take a big stretch again. Feet down, arms overhead. Create space between the rib cage, the intercostal muscles. Make yourself as tall and as long as you can possibly do. And then gently draw the left knee up, cup the hands around your shin and draw it close to the body. Wind releasing pose on the left side. Draw it up and in. Stay with the breath. Notice if anything happens in your belly. Notice if you relax the body a little more in this posture. So really surrender to the posture as you breathe deeply, fully. Gently and slowly, we take the left knee across the body. Again, option to put the pillow down here for the spinal twist, or taking the foot out, maybe the hand catches it, and then possibly reaching for the back foot as well, looking to the left. That's a lot. You don't have to do all that. I'm just offering it. So nice, easy spinal twist now towards the other way. Notice how the body reacts. Come out of it if it's too much. Raise the pillow a little higher if you need to. So these postures should not hurt. You should feel comfortable in them. But yet you should feel the body opening. Beautiful breath. the sound of the tone, we'll gently come out of this posture, drawing the knees back into the chest again, finding some relief. Once again. Beautiful. Go ahead and rock yourself around in circles on your spine. Take Happy Baby, perhaps taking a straddle pose. So in Happy Baby, we take our hands to the underside of our feet, drawing the knees down into the armpit straddle. We would straighten out as much as possible here. Maybe even just support the legs in this supported straddle for just a few moments. And then let's roll up to seated, coming back to our breath again. Sitting up nice and tall. Noticing the breath coming in the body and noticing the breath as it leaves the body. Perhaps imagining that square again, or perhaps just allowing the breath to flow freely. Gently roll onto all fours, taking some cat-cow breaths here, curling the toes, letting the belly drop and the tail reach the knees or hip distance apart. And then when we exhale, we round and curl, really touch the spine to the sky like a rainbow and tuck the chin deep into the chest. And then unfurl again, letting the belly drop, tail reach, toes tuck, inhale, look. Exhale, round, curl, stretch. And inhale again. So just continue this motion, breathing in and out. Finding downward facing dog, nice and gentle down dog, maybe up on the tiptoes here. Maybe bending the knees for turbo. Go ahead and paddle out the feet just a little bit, one and then the other. Really twisting into that space. And then let's lift the right leg up to the sky. Opening hip on hip, finding space here and movement. Maybe elevating up, just finding a little bit of space. And then we'll take that right knee behind the right wrist, right foot behind the left wrist, heading towards pigeon pose. So we slide back into this pose, hips are squared and on the earth. Again, option to use a pillow here underneath that right cheek if you need it. And then we'll slowly lower down onto the elbows first. Really thinking about where the hips are. So this front knee, we want to be mindful of it, but as much as you can, get it to be parallel to the top of your mat without leaning into this right hip or the left hip is where we want to go. So let's really position ourselves right in the center and then release down. Perhaps again, either a block or pillow underneath your right cheek or right underneath your arms, or lay right onto that pillow. If for any reason this doesn't feel right for you, and it may not, I invite you to take reclined pigeon on your back. So either way works. The way I just showed you is a lot of pressure on the hip. It might be too much for you. And if it is, then go ahead and lay down on your back, right over left in the figure number 4, on your back, and draw the arms underneath and use the right elbow to open out the hip. And so we'll sit in pigeon for a few moments, like maybe 2 minutes or so. And breathe through that space, whatever space you find, whether you're in traditional sleeping pigeon or whether you're on your back in reclining pigeon. Noticing the breath and noticing any tension again in the eyes, in the jaw. If sleeping pigeon becomes too much and you want to switch to reclined pigeon, go for it. Continue to breathe into the pigeon pose, noticing any thoughts that might be coming up for you. Allow them to come, but allow them to go. And when we get to hear the sound of the tone, finding downward facing dog again, and paddle out the dog. Bringing the left leg up to sky, opening hip on hip and finding space right here. Before we head into pigeon on the left side, left knee behind left wrist, left foot behind right wrist. Slide back, hips square, and sit up first. Find the posture, feel comfortable in the posture before you start to head down into sleeping pigeon. Remembering not to lay in one hip or the other hip, but keeping the weight right in the center. Option to use a pillow or block under the left cheek or underneath the shoulders. Another option is to find reclined pigeon on your back. I'll demonstrate that. So stay where it's comfortable for you. Reclined pigeon on your back would be now the left foot over the right thigh. It looks like this, except we lay back. Draw the hands up and underneath and draw it in. Perhaps shake the head no just a little bit. Release and relax the jaw and the eyelids. And just be here in this moment. Completely surrendering to the posture. Remember, if it starts to not feel okay, come out anytime you want. You can come to child's pose or just reclining on your back as you wait for the next posture in the sequence. Completely allow yourself to melt into the posture, staying right here in the moment with the breath. Continue to breathe. Beautiful. stay for a few more rounds of your breath here in pigeon pose. And at the sound of the tone, back to downward facing dog. Walk out and paddle out your dog. Come up on all 10 toes, bend your knees, turbo face. Let's come through to seated, so let's jump right into our seat and lower down once again to our back. We're going to be doing a supported bridge pose. So if you have a block or pillow, you're going to put that right underneath your sacrum, right there. If you don't, you can just take regular bridge pose. This actually feels amazing and wonderful, so hopefully you can find a pillow or two to put underneath there, or a block if you have one. And allow your heart to open and your hips to open, and breathe. And if you don't, you can just take a nice easy bridge, count to 10, release, windshield wiper the knees, and then back up to bridge. Do that for 3 rounds. If you're in the supported bridge, stay with it. If not, go ahead and lay down on your back. The next time you hear the sound of the chime, we will roll over to our right or left side, finishing in some sort of an egg pose, whether you've curled in or using your arm as a pillow or using an actual pillow as a pillow. So we'll head there at the sound of the next chime. Heading into our final posture, Shavasana, on our side, on our right or left side, knees curled in, fetal position, and get really comfortable here in this position, yogis. So you're laying down on your right or left side, and come to the breath once again. Yogis, as we finish up our yin practice, I'd like to read for you a reading about the present moment. Stay in the present moment, because that's where you find life's magic. Often we feel overwhelmed when we start to anticipate the future, all the needs that we need to do, all the tasks, all the work, all the potential problems, and the responsibilities. How tired we become when we dwell on what we've done already, the energy we've already expended, and the imperfect results we may have gotten. Yes, sometimes to stay in the present, we need to visit the past, to clear out an old feeling, to heal an old limiting belief, or to come back to a lesson. But that visit can be brief. And sometimes, yogis, we do need to think about the future so we can make commitments and plan and envision where we want to go. But to linger there causes unrest, anxiety, worry. It can spoil the moment we're in now. Stay in the present moment, and the past and the future will fall naturally and easily into its place. Stay in the present moment, yogis, and the magic and the peace are right here. I invite you to stay as long as you'd like to stay here. You don't have to end class just because I'm going. You can stay in this rest, in this peace, in this moment. And know that you can find it whenever you need it by just taking those deep, slow breaths. Thank you so much. Namaste, yogis. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you.